So I got everything kind of set up today as the title described. What we're going to do today is we're going to be putting the Homer Simpson um, graffiti on one of the auto racks today. It's not going to be an exact match to the prototype because I'm not putting him on a yellow. I think it's on a Canadian National car, a yellow Canadian National auto rack, but I'm putting it on a brown Conrail because I wanted more um, differences in the colors because I noticed a lot of it kind of blended in with the uprights. So we're going to do it on a brown car. So it's going to take a little bit. I've already got it sketched out. I'll show you what I've done prior to here in just a little bit to save some time today. I sketched out I freehanded what it looks like. I'll show you the picture of what we're going to do on the auto rack itself too. So I'm still not quite cleaned up yet from all the ballasting that's been done. I'll show you that here in just a minute. A few projects that I've decided to do since ballasting is commenced is uh, uh, somewhere either here, or there. I don't know where I'm going to put them yet. I'm actually going to be doing a flange greasers. So I've got a little prototype going of what the little reservoir looks like, and I've got some really thin wire that I'm going to use for the piping and everything. It should look pretty good. So we'll be doing that build next week at some point. So yes.
Crochet Lady says, "What a nice surprise! Looking forward to the session." And Great Northern says, "Good morning, gentlemen."
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So I was just going over what we're going to do. We're still printing on this. If you were here the last time, you got to see this go up. The second section. We actually we'll have the rest of the prints today, so forgive the lights if they're flickering because the printer is going and it's on the same circuit as this. But this is the final section for the very top up there. I'll put it up there in a minute and show you what it looks like. So we're gonna have a fun day with the graffiti. Well, I'm hoping it's a fun day with graffiti. I've never done graffiti on this scale on an N scale before. So we'll see how it goes. I'm a little nervous about it, but the sketch out came pretty good. So I'm hoping that it'll translate well. The other problem is working on a surface like this. These auto racks have all those little, divots to supposed to look like the holes, the vent holes and stuff. So I'm hoping all my lines that go straight and things will do what they're supposed to do. So we'll wait and see how that goes. I'll get it there. I may not get it there completely today, but you'll be able to see most of how this is going to look by the time today is done. So that's the plan for today. Like I said, I don't have the ballast cleaned up yet from here. I was just too tired after doing this much of it already because I've got probably about a 2.5 foot section here and easily probably 2, almost 3 foot sections here done. So I kind of got it semi cleaned up. I vacuumed it up yesterday. I put the vacuum right on ran it down the track and sucked up any of the loose stuff that was there. Didn't really take anything up. It was all glued down really well, including the stuff in the middle. I had noticed, I thought this thing looked really green. This middle strip looked really green. I'd come in and I'd put some stuff down after we'd gotten done. And it just didn't look right, and it just didn't dawn on me that I didn't put my sand down. So I've gone and put the sand down, and I'll show it to you here in a little bit, but I've gone and put the sand down in here, and now it looks like the rest of the sides. So it really made a nice definition for the two main lines. So we've got that much done. I'm going to start working on making the loading platforms, the passenger platforms that go down here on the 2 tracks. That will be fed by the station, and then I can start finishing the ballasting up going all this way. I haven't done this track yet because I've got some issues right here that I've got to take care of on this corner and that corner. I didn't know how far back I was going to have to go. I mean, I could probably ballast this general area right here, which I'll probably go ahead and do maybe tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. That way I've at least got, and do this one too, maybe that way I have most of the 2 main walls done with just that wall over there. And then I can bring the trains back around and park them where I like to keep them versus I don't like the trains being right above my workstation in case like paint goes flying, glue goes flying. Even though I've got them covered, I just don't want to take a chance of getting anything on them. So I'd like to pull them back down around over here. So that's where we're at. So I hope you guys are along for us for a while today. It's going to be it's going to seem like a slow session until I get most of the yellow in. And then it'll really start to go after that. The way this process works is we're going to put a base color of yellow down for Homer Simpson's body. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to thin that yellow down with a little bit of white. And we're going to do some light highlights in the yellow to where it looks faded in some spots. And then after that, I'll come in with the various colors that I use to weather with, and we'll go over certain areas weathering, because I saw a more recent picture of it, and it's really starting to show its age. So I'll go ahead and weather over the top of a few spots, and then we'll be done with it. So we'll just see how far we can get with it. I'm hoping I don't get a lot of paint bleed because of those little holes and stuff, but we'll see, because like you guys know, I like to work with a very wet paint, wet acrylic paint. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right, so let's go ahead and, I'll stand up and I'll show you this real quick. So like I said, this is the new final 14 floors of this thing right here. I'll do a quick count here when we're done. Then there's also the topper like the other two buildings have. But this now will be up that tall right about there with the topper on it. So we'll probably be about 4 inches from the ceiling. So I've got a little room to make one more tall building. And we've done this proportionately. You can see it's about 2/3, 3/4 the height of this. And this one's about the same as far as the height of this goes. So we've tried to keep it proportionate, going all the way up, so it gets that kind of an effect, that look. So I think that's going to look really good up there. So that's, we'll have the other two today. I've got also got printed off, which we'll probably do this weekend. I'll wait till then to do it this weekend. But I've got this is the roof piece to this one, and this is one of the inserts or the base. I don't know which. I think that's an insert. I do believe. Yeah, that's an insert. That's not a base piece. We just have to get the base piece printed for this right here, and I'll be able to do the three. We'll put those in this weekend, along with finishing the very top of this, because we will have the three other panels of this done, along with the topper that goes on there. So we will have this one wrapped this weekend, which would be good. Well, other than like the strips that go up, but I'm going to count it done as soon as we get those several, because doing the strips is not going to take me any time. All right, so I'm going to show you how this all came out. We'll get some close-ups of this, so you can see how nicely the ties look inset into the ballast. And I'll show you how much we did over here. And make sure my ladybug isn't in there. Nope, she's cruising over there. I don't know if you guys saw my video that we put up or not. We made a little feeding trough for the ladybug. She took advantage of it immediately. It's just a simple sugar water mix that ladybugs like. I found that online. I did a mix. And I did come in to find her floating on her back with her legs going, even though there's a thing in there. So I rescued her out of that. She's kind of been drying out, but she'll be back to it, I'm sure. So we've actually decided that we're going to make a little fountain somewhere. Not an operational fountain. We're going to make a little fountain, probably about that big, and we're going to put a liner in it. We're going to keep sugar water in it for all the little ladybugs that come and visit us during the regular season. So we'll probably have some videos where you actually see a congregation, about 5 or 6 ladybugs around. So we'll keep that going. All right, so let me get this.
Crochet Lady says, wow, we won't be able to see the top. It'll always be in the clouds.
We'll have the camera up to where you can see it. Crochet Lady said we won't be able to see the top. Yeah, you'll be able to see the top. We'll always kick it back a little bit further. We've still got a lot of room. The focal is way down here. The bottom of it is way down here, so we can tip it up a little bit more to always get the top in once we get the tall ones in. So you'll be able to see the whole effect that we have. So let's get the camera and we'll start walking around. I'll show you how that looks, and then I'll show you what we've got going over here for the graffiti. All right. So as per usual, we'll just do our quick little walk around of this all. So there's the elevated track. Here's where more of the city's going to go. And again, the big tower here with the extra pieces. Okay, so here is what we got done on the road bed on these two goes. You can really see the ties really well. This light brown really stands out nicely inside the road bed. And if you get down and you look at it like that, you can actually see the ends of the ties, which is what I try to do. I always try to get where you can see the ends of the ties. Some of these are not quite visible yet, so I'll scrape some of the ballast out, and then I'll ballast it all up. So that's that came out looking really nice. I'm happy with that. So like I said, we're going to put either, it's going to be somewhere mid-wall. We'll put the oil, the flange greaser. It'll probably be right here, and we'll run the lines up and bury them into the roadbed right here, the ballast, and then I'll have the lines inside inset, and we'll have them painted the color that they need to be. I did a lot of research on that, and then I'll blacken the ballast all around this area, and then I'll have the lines come through and come over this one, and I'll probably put a separate reservoir right here for the flange greaser, and its lines will come in right here to this one. So that'll either be on this track, on this wall right here, or it'll be on this wall right here, or the other one over that way. So now you can see here, you can see how I put the sand in between the tracks here on top of the green, and it really just it brought it to where it's the same effect as we had there. So same thing here as I did the sand and the green, and now this one, you can see the edge of this one, you can see the sides of these ties a lot better. I made sure I mushed things down a little more, so I don't really have to do any work on this. If I have any like little thin areas like right here where you can see some of the gray road bed underneath, I'll come back in and I'll add a little bit of ballast right here. Looks like maybe a little bit right here and maybe a little bit right there, but that's about it. The rest of it went down really well. So, and again, the same kind of an effect. You get the really nice look with the brown ties mixed in. So I'm excited to get this running, but you can see right here there's a lot of ballast still built up, and this is all going to be scraped out of here. So once we've done that, then we'll be good to go, because there's like some really built up. This is gonna, and with this being glued to the rail, I'm sure it's dry and glued to the rail right now. It'll come off easy enough, but this would be something that would derail the trains. So I just don't want to mess with it until I get it clean. Plus I need to run the sandpaper across the top in case there's any glue that got on here. You always want to make sure you do that when you do ballast, is just hit your surface again and make sure you've got, the contact's going to be good with your engines. So I'm going to have to redo all of this right here, just sand the top right down all the way here. So next step on this will be to bring this around and then to take these two out and put the correct, so I don't have a joint on the curve here and I don't have a joint on the curve right there. So it'll be like this one where they'll be back on the straights to the straights. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so if you want to come, Gabe, and set this up for me. Yeah, you can come on in because I'm just going to show this real quick. So what I did, let's get the picture up. I'll show you. So this is the Canadian National car. Come on. When I've got it tucked under everything, it's always a little slow. All right, so this is the real car right here, in case you haven't seen it. Like I said, it's a Canadian National car. So I did a drawing. I took a measurement of it from here to here, and I matched it. I made this long enough on here to be the same distance. So I did a freehand drawing of it right here. And then I laid that on here and I traced it basically in here just to give me my point of reference for all my lines. I have the arms with the donuts cut out, so once I get the yellow down, I can put this on here and I can trace that on there, and we'll get that put in the right spot. So I picked this yellow right here. It's just, yes, that's it. Golden yellow is what we're going to use for this. It's probably close to the Simpsons yellow. So I'm just going to take it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint the entire body the yellow. And then I'll come back in and I'll do the extra stuff where like the underwear's white, the pillow's white, he's got drool that's white, there's some Z's up here from him snoring. That's all done in white, so we'll do that second. Then I've got to darken up this yellow, because if you go down here, there are some shadows. Stop that. You can see shadows. There's some shadows right here on the bottom side of the head, right here on the eye, that give it the 3D effect. So I've got to darken up the yellow to get this darker shadow line right here. So I'll be doing that on all the areas of the body. So that, let me get this back up here to the top where I need it to be so I can look at what I'm doing. Okay, so that's what we're gonna get ready to do. So we're gonna set the camera up and then I'm gonna start mixing paints, thinning them down and getting them ready to go. I'll have the picture there so I can keep track of it and we'll get to it. Okay, so if you wanna set this, and try to be not on the tracks. And you can go ahead and zoom in if you want, because I'm not going to be moving that for a while. This is going to take a bit to do this.
Yeah, I'm zooming in quite a bit. Okay.
All right. So, like before, I've got fresh cup of water. I've got my other cups here with the other colors. I haven't had a yellow before. I'm probably going to, this is dry enough, I can probably use this even though it's got some orange to it for the rust. I'll probably just use that to dab things off with. I've got my two really fine brushes. This one doesn't seem like it might be fine enough, but when you get it wet, that tip becomes really, really fine. So let me see here before you go. Is that doing anything to the camera? Okay.
Nope. I've got it zoomed in pretty much right on it.
Okay.
So.
Well, it was flickering before.
Right. No.
So,
I'm just letting you know. So just keep it like in that.
Okay.
Frame.
Well, if I'm here, if I needed to be here, how is it?
Oh, that's fine.
Because I'm probably going to have this to zoom in to see details and stuff.
Okay? Yeah, no, that's fine. So I mean the car.
Yeah, it's not flickering. No, we'll move the car from this general area right here. I just want to make sure that's not going to flicker or be a problem. Okay. Oh. All right. So let's get started with this. So this is apple barrel golden yellow. Like I said, it seems to be pretty close.
Hi, crochet lady.
I had King's Gold, but it's got a little too much brown in it. I needed something a little lighter so that when I mix the white to fade this down after a while, we're kind of good to go. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to get everything set up the way I need it. All right, so we'll get kind of comfy here because this is going to take a little bit to do. So I'm going to turn this just a little bit so I can see it. That shouldn't have changed anything for you guys as far as seeing how this goes. So we're going to get a good glop of this. My hands will be out of the way here in just a minute. I've got to start getting stuff set up, both consistencies that I like, both the... Jay says hi. Hi, Jay. I think I am going to go ahead and, since I've got to get this off my hand right here, I think I'm going to go ahead and set up so I don't get any orange in my yellow. I'm going to go ahead and set up a paper towel for the yellow. Put that right there. Okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to get this all mixed up. And I'll leave this right here so you guys can see what it is I'm working on. If you come in, we're putting the Homer Simpson, we're making the Homer Simpson car, graffiti car. I'm going to start more towards the middle of the body and work out towards the edges is what I'm going to do. That way, by the time I get out to the edge, a lot of the paint will be off the brush. So even if it's a little lighter out towards the edge, it'll look more like a light highlight, and that's fine for me. Oh, and on the brown of his mouth, I'm just going to go with my standard honey brown that I have. It's look at that. It's really going to be really close. And then, of course, the black highlight line will be done with this liner brush right here. All right, we're getting close to having the consistency I like. And again, this is just plain acrylic, thin acrylic paint. All right, well, here we go. It's always a little nervous when I start doing a new car, especially after I put all the effort into weathering like I did on this one. You guys got to see that last week. All right, so let's see what we can do. Get this out of the way so I got room for my hand right here. Do this like this. I'm going to dab it off a little bit. All right, so let's see what we can do. And yellow is a hard color to get to cover, so this is probably going to take multiple coats to get it to cover because I don't want to get it so thick that I lose any of my details. But you've got to get it on here, so we will we'll probably have to do multiple coats. I mean, we'll see how it is afterwards. I may like the bleed through that's here. We'll see, because there is bleed through on the original one. Now we're just going to go up this way. We're going to try to keep this in the line that I have made. And again, I apologize for the flickering light. Our 3D printer is on the same circuit, house circuit, as this room is, most of this room is, so it draws a lot of power. So it will be doing this for a while, probably pretty much the entire morning. On this darker area, I'll definitely have to build the paint up. Now, on the guy's graffiti, he brought it down right to the sill line here, the bottom frame of the flat car. And he didn't put a whole lot of yellow down here. He left it the original yellow. He left all the reporting marks, everything. He didn't cover any of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and just bring it down right to there where it was, and I'm going to leave it there. Even though, well, there's one part of the foot that comes down here, and I'll get that. But otherwise, I'm going to let the yellow of this be the rest of his body, just like it is on the real car. Then when this thing dries, I'll be able to draw in all the rest of the details. I'll be able to put all the details of the mouth in. I'll take this, and once it's dry, I'll put it on here where it goes, and I'll trace the outline of the where all of that is supposed to be, and it'll work just beautifully. Well, that's looking pretty good. I actually kind of like all that silver coming through. I might not have to do much more. So I want it to look weathered, and I am going to be coming back over the top and doing the weather like I said, because I'm killing all my rust in the black right here. So I'm going to be definitely putting that back on anyway. Now this is just not taking it right here. So see, now I'm going to make sure I build this up. I'm just going to dab this in here all the way down where it goes, right to the sill. Okay. Just keep working that paint out. There we go. Let's pull this off to the side right here. This is where the white of the underwear goes. My white's really thick, good thick paint. So I'm not worried about painting over the yellow. It'll cover really easily. So we're just going to do that. He'll look like he's naked for a while until I get all that done. Yeah, that's actually doing a nice job with those lines. So I think I may, if I do a second coat, it's going to be a very light second coat because I'm not going to want to lose a lot of that right there. That looks really natural. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the thicker paint right here so I can get this right in here. Then I go down to my thinner where I'm in a wider area so that I don't get any glops and stuff, that it just nice and smooth. Okay. Good. Yeah. That's it's not too bad. It's not quite bright enough yet, but I may be able to just do that with a really light coat after this. Yeah. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to try to paint around the eyes or just paint the whole thing in yellow and then redraw them in. I'm probably just going to paint the whole thing yellow and then just redraw them in. So I don't get too many light highlights. Come in here, and I'm going to pull some of this paint off right through here. Get right down to the sill area. Well, it's doing all right. All right, so now I got to come under the mouth area with his brown shadow, 5 o'clock shadow. There's his little button nose thingy right there. I really like that silver coming through. And I'm going to put another coat on, like I said, but I'm going to do a very light coat. If I start to put the second coat on, I don't like it, I'll stop. I'll start someplace where it's not going to be seen that much. If it's a little thicker. Then I'm definitely going to go for the later version of this that I've seen, where it's really pretty weathered and faded. You know, this is really doing, I may not have to put much white fade on here. I might do it right here where this is. I'm going to try to pull some of this out so you see some of the color back underneath there. So it's just more natural. That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, that's not too bad. Pull a little bit off here. A little bit off right through there. Pull some of that off right there. Okay. All right. So this is the hard part right here, is seeing where, because it just didn't cover well right here. So guessing that the nose comes down like right here, that would make the eye about right here. Yeah, there we go. Now I can see it now that I'm actually putting it on. Because there's his little eyelid. I'll put a little eyelid like that, so that it is kind of separate. We'll make sure I get a little bit of a curve up here. When I do the black outline, I'll make that stand out a lot better. I'm going to pull some of this off now. Make sure it's a little more natural. All right, and his other eye is right here. That goes all the way down underneath right here to his nose. We'll just go ahead and we'll bring this and we'll connect it down here where his nose is. Hard part's going to be getting this to look right through this area right here. That's where the dark outline line will be really good. Okay, his little ear is right here. The other side of the eye. And this is the pillow. Okay. Getting that in there, slow but sure. All right, so then the eye comes here. And his head, that's the eyebrow right there, and I'll get that all worked out. Now we'll get his forehead. Come down to the pillow. Like that. And since this is just a plain paint, nothing done to it, later when I start to fill it in, now let's see here. Here's his ear. So this comes up like this. Okay. Yeah. And it comes down like that. Okay. I want to make sure I know where to stop with the yellow. I can fill areas back in that are a little light. Like these areas, I kind of want to try to leave a little bit of the line in there where I can have a point of reference. I'm going to come out just a little bit further over here on the curve. That. There we go. Now we're getting there. All right, so that pretty well, that's the pillow, that's his head. So now we'll come down and get his legs in. I am just going to bring this up because, like I said, I'm just going to go right over the top. I'll trace the hand and the donuts right over the top. I know this is white right here, so I'll probably just leave that out. It's the only really identifiable area. I'm going to come in here. Well, I was a little worried to start off with, but it looks like we're going to be all right. Looks like it's going to do just fine. I'm always worried when I start something new like this that after all that weathering work, I just wind up ruining it. Let's see here. We're going to here. This is all going to get covered with his hand anyway, but I just thought I'd fill it in so that when I put the color down, everything stays uniform, but I get a little bleed through of the yellow. All right, so now this feet, I always have a hard time with feet. I guess I'm like Japanese animators with anime. They can't do feet very well either. We're going to see what we can do here. Most of it will be defined by the black lines that are there. I've just basically got to get a shape in. Pull off here. It's just not quite as dark. Right, we're getting there now. These just have little tiny circles at the end for the toes. Down around like that. Come down right on top of that line. I'm going to try to keep the separation on here. It'll be easier, but I want it nice and thin. So I want this line to be a real super thin black line. Same goes right there. That's all right. So I can definitely tell that's feet. Okay, I got a few areas here I got to come back in. I can see that it's just building up too much right in these areas right here. I need to just pull some of that off. Like I said, it'll look like lighter and darker areas and a variety of spots, and we'll have an overall decent tone. going to be an interesting day today, though. Hands already numb from my disc in my neck. So I'll give it my best effort. But if it doesn't come out perfect, I'm not going to worry about it because it's just what it is. Okay, very good. Now this area right here where I started is already drying up really. Whoops, forgot that area right there. Let it back out. There we go. Right down to sill area again and right back up. And up right to there. Drag that back and forth so some of that original color comes through. We got some fade areas like we did on the rest of it. Let's see, I need to come in here. This has to be darkened up just a little bit. Make sure. Get rid of all of that. There we go. Okay. So we've got the yellow on. Try to tip this so you can see it really well. So we have the basics of the body. I'll show you here where we're at. We'll get the so get the light out of the way. All right, so hopefully you can see that. So we have all of the yellow in throughout the whole body, huh? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we've got all of this yellow in right here. We're going to do, because you can really see these lines coming through. I can really see them here. It's actually pretty good. Like I said, I may do a very, very light coat of yellow here, second coat of yellow, just to define things a little bit more. It's looking pretty good so far. Yeah, and I didn't see any off the back leg down into this. I'm just going to leave the sill alone. I think we're all right. Okay, so let me see if I'm pretty dry here now. If I can try a light second coat in the middle and work the same direction, everything I just did. It looks dry. All right, so all right. Again, another test of courage. All right, I may start. I don't know. I really like that. I'm just comparing to the photo. All right. I'm going to take most of the paint off and just see what happens. I think I'm just going to kind of go in between these rows of the holes right here. And wherever that isn't, I'll just try to keep that looking good. Those rows of it. Well, it's a little yellower, but I kept my rows. So let's see if this does the same here. You know, that's pretty good. A little bit of that off right here. I don't think I'm going to need to put a white faded color on. I thought I was going to have to use white to get this fade look, but I don't think I'm going to have to. I think that's just what we have going right here is going to be just fine. All right. Get most of it off. I wanted to get kind of build this color up so it matched more what I did here in between too. And this really light second coat is doing that. Guys, all right, it's gonna look fine going down the track. So when I get everything done on it, it'll be fine. Get all the highlighting and the lines. Then if I need to, if I'm not happy, if the yellow isn't bright enough, I'll come in and put another coat on it, another light little coat on it. I'm trying to keep those lines so I can see them. I drew on there for his eyes and his ear. And the white is kind of faded too. The lines come through it, so I'll just bear in mind doing that. So does the brown on his mouth. So I'll just kind of stay with this kind of a pattern. Now see, this is something you wouldn't get with a decal. They make a decal for this. And you put that down, it's just going to be solid yellow. I've seen them, and I've seen that's what they look like. And they're fine looking, but you're not going to get this variance of color to show that kind of aging that's on there. So it just depends. If you can be brave about it and do it, then I think this is the better way to do it. You know, I'll tell you what, if you've got an in-scale car, you pay the postage, I'll draw you the template out, and I'll just send it in an envelope to you. So if you want this, let me know, and I'll do that. And the two parts like that, I'll just make a copy of this, so you can just lay it right on there and make your tracing. So it'll give you your parameters and everything if you want to do this. I have no problem sharing that at all. So if you decide you want to try this, or don't think you can get the drawing part done, just contact me. I'll be happy to provide it for you. You just pay the postage. So putting in an envelope, you're looking at what? First class stamps up to almost $1 these days. It's like $1. Just contact us through the community area and just say, oh, I saw the weathering live stream of the Homer Simpson. I'd really like that drawing. Okay. That pretty well filled that yellow in just about everywhere it needed to be. Right, move on to the next color. Okay, so there's our yellow. I'm just going to work on the same plate, so if I have to go back, I've got it right here and I can do it. Sorry for my hand being in the way. I think what I'm going to do is, I know nothing's really going to change with this brown right here, so I think I'll go ahead and get the brown in while I'm waiting for the yellow to dry, and then once the yellow is dry, I can set this where it needs to be, and I can trace around it. So that I know where this goes, and I'll just sketch in the donuts and all that and the rest of his hand, and I'll be able just to, but I want this to be completely dry before I do that. So I think well, the black's it's pretty bold black, but maybe I'll thin the black down a little bit, maybe it's white to make it gray, but it's a good solid black line around that. So I'm probably just gonna leave it the way it is. Okay, so let's get the brown. Honey brown. I think the honey brown is going to be just the color to do this for his mouth. So this is Deco Art Americana. And I'll just leave that yellow right there. I'll rotate this a little bit. Let's see what's going on here. There. Gotta get that up and out of the way. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll bring it over here. We did start the big crane project. Here it is. I got a video started of it, where I'm showing the construction of this. This is going to have that telescoping arm we're going to be using for our putting in place You can see it does a nice job of staying in place. This is a real stinker of a model to put together. This will be the first video we have in our membership section. But you'll see the thing on the layout when if you don't do the membership section, you'll still see it on the layout all over the place as I move it around from building to building. Okay, so we're going to give a little bit of space between this and the yellow. We're going to put that right there. That's a good brown for that. It might be a little light, but that's okay because we want a faded look anyway. So I'm gonna use my rust brown water that I use. This is the color this right here is the brown I use for all my ties on the track. So it's just a nice, yeah, it's a good medium. I don't think we have any new members yet. But, you know, maybe seeing some videos coming in like this might spur some people on to do it, because there's going to be that video building that has been a trial doing that. There are issues with it as far as how to interpret the instructions, but I went ahead and I explained the easiest way that I found to do it using what they have. So it's all in that video. All right, that looks like a pretty good brown right there. Oh yeah, next to the yellow on the cloth, that's pretty good. So we're going to get his mouth done now. All right, so let's see here. I want to make sure I really stay inside the lines, because the mouths of those characters are really, I got to be careful about this. I'm really starting to put my hands up here on the top of my rust is, and it will, I have not treated this car yet because I knew I was going to do this, so I don't want to touch that because I'm going to lose. Yeah, I already have started to lose some of the effect.
I couldn't hear over the printer, but did you mention the member post behind the scenes of those photos?
Behind the scenes? No, I haven't done any of that. So you might want to come in and tell that, because I don't know exactly what that's going to be.
Oh, okay. This will be for you, Great Northern, and any other members that join. Dad's going to take a couple pictures of the layout, some real like close-up shots and whatnot, and we'll have that as an exclusive member-only post that we'll have going up later, either tonight or this afternoon.
I'll have the photos made today.
Yeah. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that.
Huh? I was gonna. I'll just use this. I don't like using paper towels usually to handle because they're so rough.
Mm-hmm. The wood.
There we go. That'll keep me from hopefully wiping any more off.
Yeah.
Well, my picture went off. Gotta get my picture back up. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna come around. I'm just bringing the brown, and I'm trying to get those silver areas to come back out. And I'm trying to keep the overall look of the mouth. I have most of it drawn on here.
Crochet Lady says, wow, even at this stage you can tell it's Homer.
Yeah, you can start to really see the, so he said, wow, at this stage you can really see that it's Homer. Yeah, it's starting to take shape now. Probably not quite the right brown. I don't want to put another coat on. I don't want it to get too thick either. Not quite sure how I'm going to solve this situation. There's a bit of drool right here, so I'm trying to work around where the drool goes. I probably should just paint right over it and then paint the drool on itself. That's probably what I'm just going to go ahead and do. It's just that way I can form this mouth better. There we go. And then I can just come in very carefully, put the white in. All right. That's just... All right. The only place that has this brown. So I'm going to take just a, I'll put some black right here in the middle so I can use it in the different colors. I'm going to take just the tiniest bit of black. Out like that. Wipe most of it off. And I think I'll put a little bit right here. We'll just see what happens if I can get a little darker of a brown. A little more of a. There we go. That's a little more. Oh, that'll be good. So he says he's going to an N-Scale Modular Club open house. That'll be great. Their open houses are generally pretty good, most clubs. They really like putting on a good show. All right. That's just not getting, that's probably going to be a little too dark. Let's bring some brown down in here. We're going to do a medium area right here. Between the dark and the light, we'll just, this is it. Okay, this, there we go. That's better. All right, so let's thin this out so it's not so thick, so I still get my stuff coming through the bits of the car. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's more of a kind of muddy brown like his mouth is. All right, let's see if that does it now. And I know it's going to dry darker, so I'm not going to worry about it initially. There we go. That did it. Just pick up a little bit more here. I've got to come over just a little bit on his mouth. His mouth hole. Come over his mouth hole. Okay. And come down with that. Right to there and up to there. There we go. And those dark areas are coming through nicely. And I dribbled some on the paint. And I'll get that here in a minute. I want to make sure I get all the way down here this line with the brown to make sure that when I put the black around, it'll stand out. That's pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty close. Okay. Whoops. I want to be putting brown in my yellow water. Okay. Let's see if I can just peel this off right here. Let's get that. I'll just kind of see if we can thin this down. If I got it soon enough before. Nope. Okay, so I'll just put a little bit of yellow back on here. And we will. There we go. Okay. All right. This looks like it's dried enough now, so I think I can come in here and I can use my arm stencil that I've made and trace it on. Okay, I've got a little bright, so I need to kind of thin that down a little bit right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just get the tiniest little bit of yellow. Just going to dab it right over the top. There we go, there we go. Okay, that'll do it. All right, so I don't know, I don't want to take a chance on any smear in there, so I'm just going to dry that down pretty quickly. Okay, so we have this. That's the stencil for the arm. So given where the arm starts, I'm going to zoom it in on my picture over here so I can see it a little better. Okay, where's my pencil. There it is. All right, so the arm, the shoulder figures. It's right here. Shoulder's right there. So I'm going to get this so I can hold the end of this without taking any of my weathering off. So the shoulder is right here. So I'm going to draw a line in right there. I can see that in the reflection when it gets time. Okay, this. So coming off the shoulder, this has to go, it comes down at a slight angle. I'm just going to have to line it up. All right, it comes about right here. That's about it right there. All right, that's up. Yes, yes, that's good. I'm going to bring his hand down just a little bit like that because it is at an angle. Okay. This will be the hard part. So what I do when I'm tracing stuff like this, when I'm using, is I'll just hold it down really well at one end to start off with. And I'll just keep moving down. Okay. All right. So now I just have to come in. He says, don't forget to breathe. Yeah. I'm holding my breath pretty good right now. Okay. So there's his hand. All the way out over here like that, grasping underneath that. Okay. We're going to come up. This will be just a black line that I'm going to do with black paint. This is all black paint. So what I need to do now is I need to work in the underwear. And it comes onto that big donut. Like that. That's that. And it comes down here. I'll leave it there. I won't go around there. I'll do it right here. And I'll put it up to his hand right here. Okay. So I think that's what I'm going to do next, is I'm going to put the white in right here, and the white into the pillow right here, and then that way I can start to find this face a little better. Okay. Oh, here, while we're here, let's go ahead and I'm going to redraw his ear. And his eye. And that little eyebrow thingy right there. And we're gonna put this here, and there's that. And there's that. Okay. So there's his eyes back in place. Okay. All right. We'll get the white. We'll put the underwear and the pillow in now. Change out the water for the white water. Yellow back over here. So we're getting there. Pretty soon all the base colors will be in, then it's just going to be a matter. Then the breath holding stuff comes in when I'm doing my liner, the black liner. That's when I'll really be holding my breath as I steady everything to get the outlines put in. Get the white done here. And then I'll darken up some of the yellow to create the shadow areas before we do the black outline. Okay. Turn this just a little bit like that. A little tiny bit of white. All right. Fortunately, I've been all light colors over here, so I've been able to use the same paper towel to damp the brush clean. Usually I have a couple of towels set up so that if I've got a darker color, I'll use that one and then trade out for the lighter colors. So mostly all of this has been light. We are definitely getting there now, though. I gotta find, it looks like kind of it looks like the same brown on the donuts as his mouth is. So it's still wet enough over there. I can get those in. Once I get the underwear done. All right, so get this out of the way. This back here. All right, now we're just gonna, this may take a couple of coats, but I'm gonna get a little bit thicker. He has little tiny whiteys on. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I'm not gonna have to do any light highlights. I'll be able to go straight to just putting the rust back over a few spots and some dirt. That's good. I'm happy about that. One less step. Bring that over just a little bit. All right. Okay, there's that one. I'm gonna get the pillow in. No, don't you go off. If you just joined us and wondering why I'm doing the paper towel down here, I'm trying to keep, since this car isn't dull coated yet, I'm trying to keep from losing any of my paint weathering I have on the top of the car. Okay, the oil's on my hand. Now, he did go down into the sill area here with the pillow. If I do that, I'm going to knock out my number. So I'm going to change it just a little bit. It just keeps snapping over here.
Straight said just stumbled across the speed. I hate aircraft. This is incredible talent.
Oh, well, thank you. Somebody says now say that again, he does aircraft?
Uh-huh. Yeah, he makes aircraft.
Makes aircraft, cool. He just came across here. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Got a little bit. I'm going to go back there and do the yellow. Kind of ran up my seam there. And it's just a bad. I'll see if I can draw that down. If not, I'll just put some yellow right underneath there. Yeah, I'll put some yellow right under there. Okay, let's get the rest of this pillow. Okay, so that's the pillow. The underwear came out good. All I have to do when I do it is I've got to put the little fly area in with the black liner. That'll be fine. Just kind of.
Trigger says, so welcome. It's a real pleasure watching this come together.
Oh, well, thank you. Who was that?
The same guy, Straight.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I said he's enjoying seeing this come together. Yep, we're getting there. It's not been I haven't really been working on it too long to already have it to this point. So I should be able to wrap this whole thing up today. Just put a little more white right in here. Very good. All right. So I think the white is finished. And I could put just a little bit right here. Just kind of oversprayed it. A little bit to give this just a little more of a curve right here. It's what it is on the real car. I wasn't going to come down into this area, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and put that right there. And then make that just a little wider right there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I think what I'm going to do at this point, so I think I'm going to go ahead and try to outline this up here while I'm waiting for this stuff to kind of dry down here. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the black outlining right down here in this area. And I'll put his two little hairs that he has on here. So we're going to get some more. Oh, no. Getting ahead of myself. Got to come back to the yellow. We got to put our shadows in. So we'll change this out. Put this here. Get this over here. Okay, so I'm just going to drag some of this yellow out over here. I don't need much of this. I don't want to get it mixed with my other color, with the plain yellow. So I'm just going to do this out over here. Grab a little bit of the black. It's going to be my shadow yellow. A little too much. Okay. We'll just kill that right off the bat. Knock that down a lot. Let's do it right here. There we go. It's just got to be a little tiniest little bit darker than that. I think that will probably do it right there. That should give me enough to put all of the shadows in. This picture doesn't, this is a really blurry picture I'm working off of, but there's some better highlights, better pictures with better highlights in them. Okay, I think, yeah, that's enough. I don't want much. All right, let me get, I'm going to pull up a better picture of showing the, especially around the face here. So let me back that out. And we're going to go right here on this. I'm going to see where the shadows are. Okay. So we're going to get this thinned out just like before. Because it doesn't really fade. It looks like you just put a curvy shadow in spots. It doesn't really fade into the other color. So I'm looking at it and it looks like we just have to put a little bit. Okay. Worst case scenario, I just come back in and I paint the regular yellow right back over the top. Ooh, don't use that. I use that for something. Don't know what, but it's wet. I don't want to put that back on top of the car. All right, good. So I can hold that. All right. So keeping a look at this. All right, I'm going to have to get this now. Okay, I think you guys can probably still see that. Just gonna get a little bit of the dark area there. Now that's interesting. Oh, full car? We do it in the night, usually. Yeah, so he said, I've been at this for 45 minutes, and how long it would take a graffiti artist to do it. Boy, you know, okay, so it's going to be a judgment call here. If I try to darken up, put the shadow on, I'm going to lose my highlights that I've got going right now of all of those really cool details coming through from the panels. I've tried putting it on there, and it don't think it's going to be worth it at this stage to do it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to start doing the black outlining, and I'm going to see how that starts to look. And worst case scenario, I'll come back in and I can just put a little shadow underneath here and there if I need to, but I'm probably not going to need to. All right, let's see what we can do about just doing some outlining. All right, so I'm going to spin this. Actually, what I'm going to do, let's see, what have I got underneath here? I have a, let's see, do I have a plate set up with some blacks and whites? Let's see what we have. I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to take this one and move it out of the way for right now, because I'm pretty much done with most of those colors. But I'll come back to it. I'm going to probably reuse that brown to do the donuts, since it looks like that's what he did. All right, so we're going to go, well, we'll leave this kind of zoomed in on his face for right now, so I can see. Okay. So we're going to swap this. We're going to do this for this. We're going to take this. He does have a red tongue, so I'll have to keep that in mind. And I do have to put the white drool in, so I'll need to do that. So we'll have to do a little more white. But that's not that big a deal. Okay. So, now this has to be a little thicker than the ink consistency because you've got to get a good fine line with this. And when I do it, I'll pull that down to a real fine point. I get ready to do it. All right, get a lot of that off the brush, get a lot of water out. I'm going to start around the mouth area right there. If I can establish that real well, then I can go above and below it. So let's see what we can get here. Start with that. All right, here's where the holding the breath comes in. All right, so I have to bring this. We are in Beloit, Wisconsin. Somebody asked where we're based. Oh, you're welcome. No problem. Doing okay. I need it just a little bit darker. There we go. Yeah, that helps. All right, so now we'll start doing the outlining. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this nose, kind of need to get that nose established and in there. So it comes like this. Right, right. I put a little yellow right there. Come up a little bit higher. So I'll put a little yellow over that black. Establish this nose. This look like it was for a minute there, just looked like an upper lip on top of his lips. So we got that now. So I'll get that taken care of with a little bit of extra yellow. And this is the part that I thought was gonna be hard, and it is. It's all those little divots. Okay. That's probably gonna drive me nuts until I get it corrected, so I'm just gonna get the rest of this one outline done, and then I'm gonna go back and take care of that eye, or the nose rather. So I'll put yellow here, and this line isn't here, so I need to put a little yellow right here too. We're getting there. Okay, now it's starting to take shape. Get that yellow in there where it needs to be in the two spots. I'll go ahead and try to work on this forehead real quick, and then that way I can come back and I can touch all of these areas up wherever I need to go. Okay. But for sure that white would have been dried by now. Going to correct the yellows areas I need to correct real quick. Move that back so I don't knock that over down the lamp. Okay. So here we go. Hoping it's dry. Okay. Yeah, now I'm getting right about so fixated on it. So I've got that. Got some white right here I gotta get rid of that came through when I was doing some putting the white paint in. too far because then it does what the white just did. So I gotta make sure I just get it in there. And I'll pull some of that off the top so it's just not so bright. All right, so I think we're getting that pretty good now. And I'm happy with the width of the black outlining. And let's see, once we get, whoops, I did it again. Tear off another one. So then, after a while, when we get this whole thing lined and everything done, then I'll come in with my rust color and I'll put the rust color back in here. And some of my black shade lines will come back in so they'll just get blended and locked right onto the car. All right, so that's good. So this is why I keep my yellow off to the side for a little bit. Don't get, just keep it wet and flowing. So now we'll just we'll come on down here and we will do this area right here. We'll line that area right there. And then I will get his arm down right here to this part. And then we'll get his little shoulder area in, and then we're pretty much done with half the body. So far that's how we're looking. Well, I mean, I have to put the black in here, the pink tongue in here, and the bit of drool right here, but that's no big deal. So we're, yeah, now that I've got these areas fixed, I'll put a little more yellow right here after it sets a little more so that I get rid of that little bit of black, and the same right there. Do that, it's going to be perfect. So, all right, so now let's get back to that. Hello, Eugene. Glad you joined us. All right. Put that right there. I'm going to move this up to here. We're going to start getting this, getting the consistency the way I like it. And like I said, I've seen it now, and it's weathered pretty good. So all these areas that are flowing through, I could paint the whole thing and make it just solid yellow like it was when it was fresh, but my whole car is dirty and filthy. So there'd be no point in that unless it was like a fresh tag, but this tag has been around for a long time. I am going to do Marge and Krusty too, since those have been done. All right. So on we go. Picture back up here. Okay. It'll look really good on the layout when we get this done. A nice eye catcher. All right, so his shoulder is right here. That. Okay. I'll head down the side. A little bit of water there. I'm going to get that off the brush because that's just going to roll right down on there if I don't. Give it a nice big bead. I don't want that. breathing. A little thin on me right there. I'll come back in and I'll touch that up. All right. So brace to come up around this curve.
Crochet Lady says it's amazing all the horizontal ridges are still well defined even with all the painting.
Well, thank you. So we said amazing how all the ridges are still defined even with all the painting. Well, that's why I went with a thinner paint. Just to make sure that all stood out. Yeah, that's looking pretty decent. I probably will come in and add a little bit of yellow so it just thins that line up just a little bit. But it's pretty thick on the original though. Right there, especially on the stomach, it is really a thick black bold line. So I guess I could leave it and it would be prototypical. All right. That's pretty good. All right. Those are thinner, so I'll put more white there. Okay.
Crochet Lady says I like how you call this belly the curve.
Yep. This is like how I call the belly the curve. Well, we've all got them for the most part. Okay. Moving along. All right. So this now, I'm going to come here. It's a very dark line right here. This is a very dark line, and so is the other. A little bit of room. Always need room. Good. Yeah, we're definitely getting there now. Oh. Like I said, I'm going to come back up here, clean that up with a little more paint. Probably do need to make that a little bit bigger on the nose right there. I'm always working in reverse from working forward. I always go back. While I'm working here, I can see things that I've done that have to get taken care of. Okay. Got that stage. I think I'll go back. I'm going to put a little more black around that nose right there. I'm going to come down with the arm right to here. And then we'll bring this up, and then I'll put the color in on the donuts. And again, this is the difference of a decal versus this. I'm getting all these colors to come through from the original car that you would not get on the decal unless you, well, I make sure I really got this thin. Unless you really used a lot of solvent on it, you just kind of almost destroyed the decal. Oh, that's better. Okay. Let's get his arm down. And then I'll come in and I'll clean this up. I'll clean that up. I'll put a little more yellow right here. Build that up a little bit more to get rid of the last of that black. And I'll draw in his two hairs and his little zigzaggy hair, and we'll get that right there. And then we got to go down and just deal with the feet and the donuts. Feet and donuts. Well, we're getting really close to having this one done, except for the re-weathering. Okay, where am I at? Oh yeah. That arm, that black line on that arm is really thick and dark. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. If it gets really thick, because it is. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, so we get the fingers in. Here, all of this. And then I'll work on the colors of the donuts, get the hair in, go down and work on the feet. It's looking pretty good. I just need to lock it in with the weathering. Yeah, they're fairly thick lines. got that. All right, so I'm gonna get my pencil. Here. That's looking pretty good. So now when I weather these edges right here, all those, a little bit of rust over the top, that'll just solidify it. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, so his hair. Up, angle.
Jeff says, hey, good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff. That's his one little straight here. Now then, we got to come up. Okay, there's his two hairs. There's a side hair. His sideburns. All right, so once we get those in, then I'll see if I have to do any corrections, and then I'll just do the yellow, touch up this area right here, touch up that little bit right there, touch up that white right there. Then I'll come in and outline his feet, and then we'll be done. We'll be ready to go back in for weathering. Okay. So if anybody is wondering what this looks like, it's not in the camera. This is what we're working on right now, is doing that to that.
Jeff says, haha, I like the Homer car. What is it supposed to look like? He's passed out from too much.
I think it's from I think he's in a sugar coma from too many donuts, is what I get, because in his hands he's got a bunch of donuts. So that's kind of what I'm guessing. I don't know what the original graffiti artist had in mind, but that's kind of what I'm figuring he's done. Because this is based on a real car. Somebody was just having some comments about Homer Simpson and how funny it was and just passed out from alcohol, but I do believe it's from the donuts. All right, let's see if we get his little. Well, thank you.
He says, what's good?
What's good? Well, I don't know. Life's good, I guess. All right, so got that on, got that on. We'll come down here. Might as well just go ahead and finish outlining, and that way, whatever yellow I got to correct, I can just do it all at the same time.
Jeff says, I'm off the main three lines into and out of Chicago. You should see the different types of graffiti on the car.
Oh, yeah, guy said he's seen lots of graffiti out of the Chicago area. I know, we're not too far from Chicago. We go down to Rochelle, and we see a lot of good graffiti come through there. All right.
Tuesday says, I wish Conrad still existed.
Yeah, Conrail had some pretty cars and engines. All right, so here we go. So this I'm actually going to have closer for right now because I didn't do a whole lot of drawing for the toes. So I'm going to have this close so I can see it. Let's go like that. There we go. Well, there we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put this right here. It's all ready. I remember who? Yeah, I remember the name. Sorry, everybody. Somebody just asked if we remembered him. Goose Tag. It's like, yep, that's hard. That's not a hard name to remember. It's pretty easy. Okay. Oh yeah. Somebody said the big boy just went past where he is a few times. They're getting ready to do their coast to coast. I guess starting here pretty soon. Oh, very cool. Somebody said he saw it in Roseville, California. The big boy. Yeah, they do. Somebody said they had big plans for it this year. Yes, they're coast to coast that they're doing. Okay, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to do my yellow touch-ups, and then we'll put the donuts in. Time to make the donuts. Who was that? Winchell's? I think that was Winchell's back in the 80s. I don't think it was Dunkin' Donuts. I think that was Winchell's. I don't know. I could be. Yeah, I'm not sure what the celebration's about, but UP just loves to roll that engine out because it's a gorgeous engine, and they should be very proud of it, and should be out quite a bit. Glad to see they're finally going coast to coast with it. A lot of people on the East Coast and Southeast have missed out over the years getting to see it unless they traveled for it. I don't know. I'm still partial to the Challenger, probably because that was the first big articulated I ever saw running. So I was really sad when I heard that they did away with it. I mean, I understand it's an expensive thing to do. And well, that would have been really something to have seen a big boy and a Challenger running together, double headers. I don't know. What might have been. Oh no! Oh, somebody asked if we're done with the layout, just making trains. No, 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 no. I'll do a little layout tour here as soon as I get this done before I go to the weathering, and you'll be able to see where we're at. No, there's a long ways to go. We're doing, if you're not familiar with our build, we're doing between 25 and 30 skyscrapers in our city by itself. So we only have, I think, 3 done. We're in the middle of finishing up our 3rd one now. So we have a long ways to go. And it's a double level. So we have the huge city up above, and we have mountains and industry down below. Okay. That area down there, I'm pretty good with that area down there now. There's some blue at the end, like, well, he put it there so he could put his signature, I think. So I'll do that later. Somebody asked how long the thing will take to finish the layout. Probably about another year. You'll see all the videos and everything that we have going on here on our channel. We do streams 2-3 times a week, showing whatever we're working on. This past weekend we worked on the skyscrapers and ballasting. So I just kind of bounce around from thing to thing, just so I get a little bit done on each thing. But I'll take a break here in a minute and I'll show you guys. Oh, that's better. Got that cut down a little bit, got some weathering in there. That looks pretty good. I just got a little bit here on this nose still that's showing through. I need to just get over with. Somebody asked what passenger trains will we run? A variety. We're mostly modern diesel, but I'm going to have like a steam program. So we will have streamliners and articulateds mostly. I don't like other steams besides that for the most part. So I plan on getting a big boy and a Challenger, and I want a Blue Goose and 20th Century Limited. And Yellow Belly. So there'll be a variety of them coming in. Okay. For the most part, the outlining is done. All that's done. I got to come in, I got to finish his mouth, and I got to do the donuts. Maybe it's a cruller. I don't know if it might be a cruller. Because there's 6 of them together and they're floating in midair, so I don't know. But let's get the, because I need to come do the white anyway, so we'll get the drool put on. An F40 pH. No, probably not. We'll probably wind up having an F59 PHI though, several of those. We've already got 2 of those. So we'll probably wind up running those. Well, not probably, but we will wind up running those. So as soon as I get the passenger trains for them. All right. So where's there's the white. Okay. So let's go pick up some white here. We'll get the drool taken care of, and we'll get the underwear and the band taken care of because that's just way too thick. Now, I don't know why it's blurred out on this, but on some, I guess originally it had Z's for his snoring, but I don't see it in this image, and it's not in every image. So I'm not going to put him in because it'd be right through the conrail, and you probably wouldn't see him anyway. So I'm just going to omit those. All right, let's get the drool taken care of. Amtrak Zephyr. Probably on the Amtrak, we'll get some P42s, some AMD 103 type things. I really want to get the phase. I guess the 7 now is the really nice paint job. Okay, let me get this drool in here. All right. Oh, and if you guys have liked this, like and subscribe. It helps us with our algorithms with YouTube. Plus, this way you won't miss any of our upcoming live streams. We've got a bunch coming up, some really good projects. So this way you don't miss out. Jay says super. Oh, thank you, Jay. No, we'll have a lot of passenger. So I plan on having, I love a lot of the somebody asked if we're going to have mostly freight trains and no, we'll have a kind of a good mix. Because we're going to have about 5 stations, so we're going to need passenger trains. Okay, there's his drool. All right, so I got to get a, looks like he used the same color pink for the donuts as he did for his tongue. So I've got to find a pink. I don't have any pink paints because I never did anything with pink. So I may just have to get red and white mixed together. But we'll go see if I've got any over here in these bags. Oh. Ooh. I think I'll go with that. Peachy pink. That'll probably do it. The other one's just diva pink. That one's just way too pink. This should work for his tongue and for those top set of donuts, and then we'll use the brown for the bottom set of donuts. And we'll outline that, and we'll be done except for the weathering. Okay, this one, I've got to cut this open, so I got to find my, there it is. Somebody asked what my favorite railroad is. It's a good question. I've really liked the old Santa Fe. BNSF's okay. I really like Norfolk Southern, and mostly because of their heritage programs and beautiful paint jobs they put together. So I'd probably say it's probably CPKC. I like the guy that went there that left Santa Fe during when the merger happened and went there and really made a go with the KCS. That was a fantastic turnaround on that railroad. So I like a couple of Canadians. All right, that is a little too pink. So I am going to grab some of this brown. I'm going to put it right here, and we're going to just kind of tone that down a little bit. There we go. That's definitely not as pink. That's closer to it. There we are. All right, which water do I want to use for this? We'll use the rust water. It's got a little bit of brown in it, so that'll be fine. This will definitely be a good color for the donuts and his tongue. Looks like it's pretty close match to what's on the car, the real car. A little more pink to it. Ethan says hi. Hey, Ethan. Okay. That's pretty good. So what I need to do, I know what those look like. I need to go back. and look at the tongue and the mouth over here. And just see what it looks like. Doesn't hardly in there. There's hardly anything visible because of the drool. But we will make sure it's visible. All right. Goes like that. Okay, so there's his tongue. Come down the donuts the same color, so I'll just get those put in. The top 3 donuts anyway. All right, so let's just not wet enough. There we go. That's better. Okay. Pink's funky. Okay. Ethan asks, when are you going to Oh, we might do a 3D print live again, maybe next week when we start the 5th tower, the Gemini building. We might do it then. There we go. Okay. I gotta put the brown in. Oh, well, good job. Goose Tag said he hit 6,000 subscribers. We just hit 4,500 the other day. All right, so I'm gonna put the brown in right here. Same brown as the face. Yeah, okay. It's right here, this brown. So I need to pull that brown out, get it away from where I was using the black. The black's gotten too dark. I need a little more of a light brown here. So it looks like they've got a little bit of extra color on them. Somebody said Ethan says he doesn't have any subscribers. Well, what do you have on your channel? The trains? Because you can get out to the Facebook groups and promote it. That's kind of what we did. And that really helped. All right. There we go. Once I outline all that, that'll make those stand out. Okay. Now I'm going to put a little bit of white. Oh, okay. There's definitely a lot of groups, Facebook groups with Pokemon. Alright. I think that's probably pretty good. I'm going to start getting the white corrected because I forgot to bring it down a little bit lower back here. So, let's see, where's the white at? Oh, it's right here. Duh. Let's put this here, put that here. Start getting this. Alright, you need to get cleaned off of here. I don't want any color with the white at all. Pure white. And we just got a little bit of outlining to do, and he's finished. So for the weathering. Okay. Get the excess water off. All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna get this underwear cleaned up. I'm sure Homer's underwear is usually pretty dirty. That's better. Yeah. Okay. So I got to put a little bit right here, this area. There's nothing here that's going to get covered as far as data goes or anything. So I'll go ahead and put it in like he has it. Okay. There we go. So I put the rest of his hand in right here, those little black areas right there, outline the donuts, finish the little outlining on the tongue and the drool, and he's finished. All right, so we're going to trade back to the black. Change over to the black water. Start getting a mix going again. Almost done. Well, this isn't done too bad. How long have we been at this? Well, it's not bad to get this whole thing done. You bet, Ethan. We'll do it here in just a minute or two. I'm going to take a break before I do the um, weathering on the car. Okay. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to start back over here so I don't forget this area. I didn't quite finish the pillow. I want to finish it up. Now the drool. Well, thank you, Ethan. All right, so come down. Well, I need that to silver's really coming through on that. Oops. Too dark. No, I'll be all right. I get that on there. There we go. That's better. It better be. All right. This has gotten really thin. Thicken that up just a little bit. Okay. All right, let's come down and get these donuts. And all the rest of this that comes underneath here. Okay. Oh. Well, that should be a cool 3D print when you get done with it. Okay. I'm starting to get where I'm getting little stragglers on here, and they're not allowing me to get the point. That might be a little better. Figures. Brush is starting to get a little dicey to work on. I've got some of the thinnest details I've got left. All right, enough of that. Where are you? Saw you just the other day. The what is? Oh, yeah, prints take a long time. Oh, there you are. Sometimes these brushes, they start to get little tiny hairs start to come out. Just have to trim them, either pluck them or trim them. Okay, that should probably do it. See how that looks now. Almost. It's just a tiny little one at the very end. There we go. Okay. Just allow me to finish this up now. I'm about as good as they're gonna get right now. Somebody asked if we're gonna define the donut holes. That's what it looks like on the original, on the uh, actual graffiti. Not cooperating. Brush, I just. Got to that stage where the little hairs are starting to come out. Oh, that's all right then for now. I might have a little bit of that pink back on that one. All right, Ethan, we'll see you in a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Something on this car I cannot get paint to take right here. Try that. All right, I think we're done until I weather it. So I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna do a quick layout tour here. I've got one little spot right up here, the pink and the yellow I need to redo. Just real quick. Let's see, we'll do the pink color first. Okay, that's got that. Now then, let's see here. There's this. And we will do a little bit of the brown. Got to retouch up just a couple of spots here. Okay. That's good. That's good. Yellow. Shift the waters out of the way. Get the yellow water back. Well, thank you, Jeff. Almost done to the point of just getting to the weathering, but we'll do a little layout tour here in just a sec. And we'll get the weathering finished up. That'll allow this stuff to dry a little bit and set before I start adding all that, brushing that weathering into the surface. Oh, cool. Outlining? Cool. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right. So we need to get this. There. That up a little bit. Here and here. Right around there. I think that'll do it. Okay. Get this up out of the way. Oh, I like that. Once I get the weathering put on here, that's going to look really good. Right into my paint. Now I can get rid of this one. Okay. All right. Get this, push this out of the way. Should have left on my fingertips. Nope. All right. So there we go. I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Once I get the weathering put on, what we'll be doing here in a little while, I'll do the layout tour here in a minute, but you can see some rust right here. So I'm going to bring that down on these areas right here. Just go ahead and put that back in so that it looks like there's been, since this was painted, it makes more sense having the rust and things put back in, especially like where the whites are. You definitely want to see it some right through there. So once I've done that, then there's a little bit of black wash that goes over things. I think we'll have it done. I'm going to set this up on the track. And we'll just kind of see how it looks after when we do the tour here. See what it looks like from a distance. Still don't what? Oh. Okay. So let's take a look and let's see how this looks. We'll go ahead and give you guys a tour. Let me get a little something to drink right now. I get a little froggy in my throat from all the talking while I was doing this. Oh, I forgot a spot on there when I do the weathering of the black. I need to come in and put his little fly area in his underwear. Okay. So again, we do have our member section getting ready to be started. We're going to have the rest. We're going to have this whole video on this on there. This is that pain that I've been having to deal with. This thing is just the instructions were, there was nothing written, and actually finding the parts on the sprues has been a really big challenge, and I explain all that in the video on how to solve that problem fairly easily, but you got to do a little bit of looking. So let me turn this off. You guys don't have a glare. We're looking at the layout here. I get this out of the way. Okay. So all right. I'm going to zoom this back out. There we go. Okay. So this is, I'll just start over here because this is where we're working. This is all the top 3 tracks are staging tracks. There'll be a bunch of switches right here that will be allowing everything to shift and move over towards our helix, which will be right here, which will go up and service the upper level here, the 2 upper levels, and our lower shelf level, which is, as you can see, is right here, all the way back here. This is where the mountain's going to be, all through here, and then industry all this way, coming this way, right here, and then those stations will be right down. Station will be right down here, and some yards. So then over here, well, this is where I get this so I don't bang into that. That's where the big city begins. This is our elevated track. We're in the process. We'll be making a second track on this. This goes over here, and then we have our skyscrapers. This is the beginning of the 25 to 30 skyscrapers that we're going to have. Here's our 3 biggies that we have right now. Right here is the very last tall section that goes on top of this one, brings it up to about right here, and then we have the little cap piece that goes on top. This thing comes out to being almost 4 foot tall. So let me get over here so you can see. I don't want to step on any of my parts on the floor, but you can see how that looks. So this is the Leviathan, this is the Mako, and this is the Artemis. Right here is the convention center. That's going to have the 2 towers. This is the Gemini Convention Center. It'll have 2 towers going up, and then we're going to be starting to work on the Alexandria. And it's going to go right here. This shelf's coming out. The Alexandria is going to go right here. It'll probably actually be one of the taller ones, probably about that tall. So that's what we've got coming. So I'll get a little closer so you guys can see the details on the buildings a little bit more. Okay. So let's back up just a little bit. This gives you an idea of this right here is our raised platform that has our station on it. The station has a big tower, clock tower that comes out here, and this will be a oxidized copper roof to match that one. That'll be the same color, greenish color. We're going to have a park right here, small park right here. And the huge Ferris wheel that we're going to have is going to be right here with those nice gondolas that they have, like the big cities have downtown. So that'll all be part of that. And then the 20 to 25 skyscrapers will be lining all along here. We've got all the files already for everything. We just got to work on them. Well, I don't work on them. My son works on them. I build and paint. So they'll just be lining this whole way all along here. And right in, well, and then a second layer back behind, those will be a mixture of background buildings against the wall and some that are full buildings. We're going to create an area right here that's going to be like a Times Square kind of an area. We'll have skyscrapers that face this way and skyscrapers that face this way that face this street area that's right here. It'll actually come out over the tracks. All the buildings that are going to be lined up along here are going to have, my son found these little flat LCD screens that we'll have up and have all the advertisements going on them. So when we're running and we've got our camera set up for the runs, you'll see advertisements change and stuff right there. That's what's going to be there. So there you go. That's what we've got as far as the build so far. We've got the tower picked out for the Alexandria. The Alexandria, a lot of the stuff we're doing, names and stuff, are based on like mythology. So that's going to be the Alexandria Lighthouse is one of the 7 wonders of the world. So ancient wonders. So we're going to be probably basing it on the LA downtown one that has that big circular top to it. So that'll be like probably like right here, doing this whole area right here. So, and then we'll have buildings in the back, and then of course the elevated train comes around and comes up, and it's going to split and go around the convention center. You're going to have the main line come in, and it's going to be the passenger line right there that can stop at the convention center. So that's where we're at. So, and then here is how the new guy looks sitting on the tracks. Like I said, I'm going to get to the weathering. You know, I'm probably not going to do the weathering today. I'll probably do that tonight or tomorrow. I'm just a little tired of sitting there painting for, how long has this been? 2.5 hours. So what do you think? Think we should just wrap it up? Okay. So I think we're just going to wrap this up here today. This came out really good. I'm really happy with it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching us working on that. Last live stream, we did all this road bed. I'll be doing another live stream later, doing the flange greasers and installing those. So good. Yeah. So then look for the membership video for this. We'll be having that going up pretty soon. But anyway, we will be back here on Sunday doing, I don't know what we're going to be working on then. Oh, we're going to be finishing this tower up on Sunday. Here is, I'll put the thing back over there so you can see how tall this is going to be. I'll hold the panel up. So let's see here. So we've got to build the three sides that go around, and I've got to put all the inserts in too. So we have, where are all the inserts? I don't know. But here they are. So we have these inserts right here. This is the roof panel. It goes in this section right here at the top. This is an insert that goes inside midway, and then we have the base piece. We'll be putting those in. And then we'll be building the final section, which is this. And this goes up here about like that. So you can see how tall that's going to be. And then it has the top section kind of like that. It has its own unique style that goes on top, but it will be right up there on top of that. So we'll finish this build. There's a bunch of strips that will be coming on that are raised that are on the edges here. We'll have here, here, there, and there, and here, here, there, and there, all the way up on the sides. It'll make a nice little, create really cool shadows on the building, and we'll have a strip right in the middle right here. Yes, and I've had questions. We will be putting windows in and lights throughout all of the buildings. We'll have everything will be lit up. So that's all coming. So Sunday's build will be taking care of finishing this up, and we might even have the beginning pieces of the Gemini building, because we already have those panels put together. We just have to start printing them. We're just wrapping this up today, getting the last of we've got 3 more of those panels to go with the inserts, and we're done with that. So probably tomorrow we'll get started printing the 2 towers over here. So that should be a good build day on Sunday. Just doing all of that, and then I'll show the finished up. Let me get this out of the way so I don't get the stool set on it. And then we'll show the finished up Homer Simpson car. It'll look pretty good, like I said, once I get the weathering in it. So we're pretty good. So Gabe, you want to come take care of it? So hope you guys have enjoyed today, and thank you for being here with us. So hope it was kind of educational on how I do my graffiti painting. So we'll be here probably, I'm going to say probably closer to 11 on Sunday. So because it'll be a little later in the morning on that day. But anyway, so have a good most of the rest of the week and most of the weekend, and we'll see you then hopefully. So we'll take care, everybody.
Goose Tag says bye. Great Northern says thanks. And Crochet Lady says, squeeze your hands a few times to get circulation going. Again. Enjoyed the session. Awesome. See you next time. Stay warm.
Oh, well, thank you. Same to everybody. Glad you were here. So take care, and we'll talk to you soon.